Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Saul, journalist man, here to bring you the new updates with the happy situation. Is happy behaving on ladder? Yes, he is. And also, we are going to think it is possible for Happy to get the maximum, the record MMR on Warcraft 3 Champions, which is like 3000 MMR. Of course, like in the recent history, Happy was close into getting to 2900 MMR, but he was leaving games still, right? But now, reformed Happy playing versus everyone as good as he can, I think it's possible to get to 3000 MMR for him, and I will show you why soon. But first thing first, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday Happy just played 4 games only on his Sashka26 account, and he was playing versus guys that he likes to play anyway. So yesterday we did not get any news. The only news related about this can you leave game situation was that Mr. Sefeit, the Warcraft 3 Champions developer, admin, important guy there, he gave some response to the community because community was reporting that like, oh, this guy is ladder manipulation, he's living at stud and so on. But Warcraft 3 Champions said that they are not going to accept third-party reports, and only if you are in the game you can report. So basically you cannot report the ladder manipulation if like 2 guys are feeding each other MMR just to get higher in ranking. But he said, I do see a lot of people making the implication that all these reports for ladder manipulation is showing how silly this is to enforce. So he says, okay, so we wanted to keep the ladder integrity, but as community pointing out, and we are the part of community, guys, of course, so journalism here, is so many examples like that, says Mr. Sefein. Personally, I see those reports as some evidence that there was clearly a widespread issue that need something to be done. And yes, as we can see in my journalist investigation, we saw that Happy was used to live versus Unique like for 2 years straight. So definitely this was this situation like happened for a long time. And yes, if you want to keep ladder integrity, as strict as Warcraft 3 Champions want, something has to be done. Remember, my take is to basically remove this rule. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe because of enforcement of this rule, Happy will get to 3000 MMR. So we will see. I like that the community can debate what the best approach to this is, but at least nobody can pretend it's not happening or not an issue anymore. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for a lot of comments and a lot of ideas under my YouTube video. If you want to contact Warcraft 3 Champions, go to their Discord. You can find their Discord info on their website, Warcraft 3 Champions, like it is something like here. We go on the homepage, and yes, there is a link to their Discord. So if you want to say something to them, go for it, because they are accepting feedback, as we can see. But that's it. So like nobody from pro players would like reported that the report get accepted. So basically the situation is calming down a little bit. We'll see what Happy will do today, and I will bring you the hottest news. But now let's think a little bit about this record MMR thing, because as you can see, currently, Happy is occupying 3 top positions on 1v1 ladder, and he's well known for doing it because he's so good, he has so high MMR. Of course, he's a professional gamer, so he plays a lot for Warcraft 3 standards, as he should. It's his profession, so we should respect him for it. And as we can see, he's occupying 3 first spots, but his MMR, current MMR, is like 2828, 2800 something, and 2700 something. But remember, these MMR values are influenced by him leaving. And okay, so it is possible for him to get into 3000 MMR. First of all, let's look at his gaming history. So because of this amazing tool, we can check Happy maximum MMR in entire history of his games. And now we are currently in season number 19, the newest season. And on his main account, Happy, with Undead, he got 2863 MMR. So quite similar to what he has now with Living, remember. On his other account, the new one for sponsor, he has 2,874. Now 2,876. And on the account that he doesn't play anymore because he wants to play only on free accounts and because he has like this new sponsor account, he stopped playing on Sashka 27. But actually, the record MMR for him and I think for entire Warcraft Free Champions website is 2,891 MMR. So you may say, okay, so now he will start playing for real. So it will be easy to go to 3,000 MMR for him, but it's not that simple. Because to understand the MMR system a little bit better, I will show you the example. So, recent game, Happy versus Blade / Unique. As you can see, the MMR values are quite close, right? It's like 2,700 versus 2,800, so a little bit more than 100 MMR difference. And Happy got only 7 MMR for the win. And if we see that Happy is playing versus someone really good, this is like a Chinese pro player, neither elegant, playing on this account name. So if Happy is winning versus someone with it's 2,500, so 300 MMR lower, he's only getting 3 MMR points. Because, like, according to the system, Mr. Elegant is not as good as Unique, so Happy reward should be a little bit lower. And when he plays versus... this guy is not a noob, by the way. He's like a strong Chinese orc, 2,300 MMR, but it's like 500, almost 500 MMR difference. He gets 1 MMR. And remember, those values are rounded. They are not, they have it's like not integer numbers, they're floating numbers, right? So it's like 1.3, for example, something like that, right? So it's not 1 per se. But it shows that when Happy plays ladder, he's not gaining that much MMR. And look, when he's like losing, and these like examples of him like losing, but yes, it was like him leaving. But look, versus guy on his level, he lost because he has high MMR. He lost 12 points. Now, the record that I saw is like he left at start versus account create because he used to leave versus every NA player. Because of the ping, basically, and he lost 22 MMR points for free. Look how many games he has to play to get 22 MMR back. He needs to beat like Unique 3 times and probably elegant once just to get back his MMR. And as I said, he's not getting this MMR that easy. But you may say, okay, Saul, but he will just stop living versus them, so he'll just win. Okay, and to understand this, we need to check Happy's win rate. As we can see, Undead it's performing the best versus Human. Maybe Human needs some buffs, Kappa. Of course, just buff Pala Rifle and we are done here. But for real, this is his win rate. So how many times he is going to win? Let's say per 100 games, he's going to win 83 games. On average, but it's including those free wins, right? And I did some investigation, so I just went through his games, and from my observation, it's like we don't know the correct number. We will see about this. Like he had like some very weird game versus Lin, when he like the game was even, but he left in the middle. It was long time ago. He cannot be reported for this, so I don't know what his real win rate is going to be, but definitely it will be higher, right? And I have two situations here: optimistic situation and pessimistic a little bit. So in optimistic situation, he's going to have 95% win rate. So per 100 games, he's going to win 95 and lose only 5. In pessimistic scenario, his win rate will improve, but slightly, because item lag, he can get creep jacked, successful surround that he doesn't see by his opponent, and so on. So we will see. And because his MMR is going to grow even more, right? If he's going to 3,000 MMR territory, it means that his average MMR gain and average MMR loss, will be like harder for him. So this is my assumption, and you may say Saul is a wrong assumption, but we need to start with something, because you don't know how many good players he will get in like top players he will get in his like 100 games, how many like these lower MMR players, and we're speaking lower, I'm talking about still professional players, but like not these top of the world players. So we don't know exactly, but I just assumed to have something that he's going to gain 2.5 MMR if he's going to win, and lose 18 MMR if he's going to lose on average, because maybe, who knows, he will lose to Mr. I'm Noob, and then he will lose like 20 MMR, right? And if he plays 95 games and he's gaining this much MMR, he will get a total 237.5. And if he will lose 5 games, he lose 90. So his net MMR he will still earn around 150 MMR in 100 games. And what about the pessimistic scenario? Look, he will still get some MMR. He will get less, much less, but it's still, his MMR is going up. And until his MMR is going up, it means that he can get more and more MMR. So his 3000 MMR dream is real, even though his win rate is not like, it's of course amazing, the best on Warcraft 3 champions, but it's not improving that much from this value. And okay, so let's try to think how long then it will take Happy to get to 3000 MMR, and his current maximum MMR in the day of recording, this is the date, it's 2828 MMR. It means that he needs to gain 172 MMR to get to 3000, okay? And we know how many MMR points per game he will get in those two scenarios. So in optimistic, it will take him 117 games to get to 3000 MMR on average, and in pessimistic, 382, okay? And if we translate this, the most important part, remember, Happy likes to play on 3 different accounts because he wants to have rank 1, rank 2, and 3, okay? So even though he plays, and you know, this value is also quite random, but from my experience, he plays around 20 games per day on average. And remember, if he has like important tournament and he plays in the tournament, then he doesn't play ladder. Because if he wants to get into 3000 MMR, he needs to play ladder, Warcraft 3 Champions ladder, not custom games in tournament and so on, right? So yesterday he played 4 games and that's it, because he played some tournament just to warm up a little bit, probably, right? But on average, he has days when he plays like 30 games on ladder. So when there is like no tournament for him and the ladder is active and so on. So like I assume that he plays 20 games on ladder, but he's switching his accounts, And because he has 3 accounts, let's assume that he plays 7 games per day on one of his accounts. And remember, on pro level, you need to wait in queue for a long time and he has those tournaments. So you may say 7 games per day, but it's like 20 and he plays in tournaments. So yes, he's a professional gamer, but this has his ladder volume. And when you play 7 games per day, in order to get to 3000 MMR in the optimistic situation, he needs just, ladies and gentlemen, 17 days. Just 17 days, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that long. And in the pessimistic, 55 days. And if we translate the days to dates, it's basically what we are expecting here. And I don't know if it will be possible. I don't know if he will still play versus in situations that he refused to in the past. But, this is my prediction. So the verdict is, yes, he can get into 3000 MMR, and it will take around 20 days to 60 days. And, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to, of course, cover it because it's quite exciting. Warcraft 3 Champions history it may happen here, and 3000 looks very nice, very round number. So I wish Happy the best. I wish him a good motivation on ladder, and we will see how wrong or how right I was in my predictions. So again, and tell me in the comments, guys, what do you think? Can Happy get 3000 MMR on Warcraft 3 Champions? We'll see, like, for comparison, Moon is like 2600 MMR. Moon is very good, right? So it's hard to be. And for comparison, you're truly SaulApeMan. When I play Night Elf, I have 1700 MMR, and with human, I barely touch 2000 MMR. So, like, to even get. Yeah. So, Happy is getting 1 MMR point versus I'm noob, and myself, I never have been even closely to the MMR of this I'm noob guy. And if Happy somehow will play versus me, he will get +0. So he'll get like 0.1 MMR point from me, but because like the MMR gap is too big, he's not matching me, of course, because he has a better opponents active. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you are. What do you think about this situation? I will cover it for you, and feel free to subscribe to my YouTube because more content is coming. Thank you for watching. It was Soul Journalist, Soul Researcher Man. Bye bye, and see you in the next video.